Hi, I'm Darlene Newman with Insider Travel Report, and we're at Devil's Thumb Ranch with Brian Ripley, the Chief Revenue Officer. Who is the typical visitor to Devil's Thumb Ranch?
Sure. In the past, the typical visitor, the typical market has been groups, whether it be wedding groups, a lot of weddings, clearly with the views of the Continental Divide and, being out in the pristine wilderness is a good backdrop for weddings. So we did a lot of weddings for many years, and also corporate groups, very popular corporate groups that come in from either the Denver area or all over the country, really, California and other major metropolitan areas. In the last couple of years, and thankfully, since the pandemic hit in 2020, we've had a shift of percentage of market to leisure travel, FIT, families. One of our main goals is to attract families. So we've come a long way in the last couple of years in doing so, even through COVID, when groups were not legally executable or safely executable. We pivoted almost on a dime so that we're almost 100% leisure, and we ended up around the same area as we did the year prior to the pandemic. So we had a very popular destination for leisure travel in 2020 even, and we're still kind of even, we're even surpassing that the way we're pacing now. So we, with a couple of leisure travel awards and recognition in Condé Nast Magazine for a top 10 resort and some other accolades, we're really establishing ourselves now as a leisure travel destination.
Tell me about some of the amenities here. Obviously, you have a great natural view, but
Sure.
What are other things that travelers can enjoy?
Yeah, we have a really robust array of activities that are, ranch-related activities. So the stables is a huge draw, especially for families. Trail rides, wagon rides, chuck wagon dinners and barbecues and things associated with, kind of the cowboy aspect of a ranch is very popular. On the other side of that, we are an Orvis-endorsed fly fishing destination. So we have 4 miles of private water on property, which is very rare, and private guided fly fishing or even some group fly fishing. We can also take you off property to some larger gold medal trout waters nearby on the Colorado River. So we're well poised for fishermen and as a fishing destination as well. We have the beautiful Ranch Creek Spa. It's an 18,000 square foot spa. On the wellness side of things, we have daily yoga. So we have a unique wellness aspect yoga studio with great views of the mountains and treatment rooms for massages, facials, and body therapies. Activities as well. We have zip lining here. We have hatchet throwing. Have you ever tried that?
I have.
You
actually.
have? Somehow you've tried hatchet throwing? Okay.
I do a lot. So.
Not surprising. I think hatchet throwing is pretty popular.
Yeah.
Archery, just mountain biking. We have 13 miles of hiking or mountain biking trails on property. And then there's the resort town of Winter Park just down the road. So there's a lot of festivals and different events all summer long, typically, especially starting to come back into play now that the COVID restrictions and the things it's safer to do outdoor events and things like that.
Tell me about some of the room configurations
Sure.
or lodging accommodations for guests.
Sure. So we have 15 private cabins on property, ridgetop cabins. They're a little bit separated from the property, super popular with families wanting a little intimacy and away from the crowds a little bit, but they're just off property, so you get all the resort amenities along with the cabin rentals, and those sell well in advance and are pretty booked up, especially during the summertime. We have 2 lodges, just standard type of lodge rooms with different configurations, and some suites that connect with each other, more for a family style arrangement. But the lodge rooms, you can get anything from 2 queen beds and a fireplace, a king suite with a fireplace, connecting rooms and different configurations. And so that's basically the lodging setup. We have the main lodge, the High Lonesome Lodge, and then we have the cabins. We also have some private home rentals on site. One of them is called the Peak to Peak Ranch. It's a 4-bedroom house that's a little bit off property, a little bit removed, but that has its appeal because you can still come down to the ranch and enjoy the amenities, but also have that little bit of separation for your own privacy. And there are times when we also rent what we call the Grand Guest House, which is a 20,000-foot, 10-bedroom private home that's just off property for special, sometimes executive boards or just families that want to, get together in a larger type of unit with a little more space. So that's the lodging here.
What is it about Devil's Thumb Ranch that you think makes it most unique from other destinations
Sure.
and luxury properties?
Yeah. Well, sure. I think it's the way it's set back away from any town or other really close to any other property, far back into the Continental Divide area where you get these views. The pristine wilderness aspect of it, just the feeling you get when you drive up here is magical. I mean, it almost has a calming effect on you. The buildings are all sustainably built structures, wooden structures. Everything sort of integrates with the environment really well. So it's a unique property in that it kind of fits in with the natural surroundings nicely in terms of the aesthetic. It still is a ranch, a working ranch. So we have herds of cattle here, lots of animals, and lots of activities and trails. It's kind of its own oasis where you can get away, wide open spaces, fresh air, spread out, reconnect with yourself, nature, your family, that kind of thing. And so there's that wellness aspect that I think really attracts people. There's not really another environment quite like Devil's Thumb Ranch.
Well, and I can tell you the food is really good. So thank you, Brian, for serving up some Wagyu beef for me. I've only taken one bite, but now we're going to finish it up. And thanks so much for joining us on Insider Travel Report.
It is my pleasure. Pleasure to have you, darling.
Cheers.
Cheers.